Hey there, welcome back to Eager Gridless Beaver. We are going into the final phase of creating a Hügelkultur bed. And what is a Hügelkultur? What is Hügelkultur? Well, this is what you're looking at here in front of you is a Hügelkultur bed. And I created it with a bunch of sticks and leaves and our crappy soil, and that's it. It's a permaculture type of thing where you don't till it, so there's all these sticks and pieces of wood that make up the body of this, or originally did at least. Artemis is blocking the light. And over the years, that stuff breaks down. So, you know, this is year 4 for this bed, I believe. It might be year 5. I'll have to go check my records. But what that means is this soil has never been tilled. Originally, it was sticks that made up the soil, and the dirt from around here, which is just terrible clay. And it's something that you do to make the soil better, to put something into the soil that can store moisture, that can give nutrients back, which is the form of the hardwood pieces that are imbued with all kinds of good things that help your garden grow. And it also creates loam in your soil. This used to be a lot higher, probably would double the size, but over the years I know it's broken down. So it's no longer the high bed it was. You can see these ones are higher. They've also had peat moss and things added to them, so they're going to have more loam. But it's been going down over the years. You know, much like a lot of our beds, we still have these big rocks that we're dealing with. They're obviously a problem. I'm probably going to get into removing them from the whole garden probably this year, but it shouldn't interfere too much with what's going on underneath the soil. So let's take a look at this soil. I'm sort of excited because I've poked my finger in to see aspects like moisture level and whether or not you could feel sticks and such, but I've never really taken a shovel to see what the status of the wood bits are. I don't think I have a lot of documentation, or I didn't film anything on this matter, so but I can tell you, basically you start with bigger round pieces, and we're going to see this because we've been working on creating this. If you watch the other videos, you've seen us do this, creating the content that's going to fill these beds, creating the wood bits that are going to fit in here easily and stack fairly nicely, so that you can get soil and things intermingling, and then you also give worms things to eat. So you create these sticks, you lay them out. It is labor intensive because it does take a lot of time, but other than that, it works really well. I was sort of really surprised by the amount of growth we got in the first year. It outperformed a lot of our beds for the first couple of years as they were getting established. As the beds got more established, it wasn't such a, this one seemed to fall behind a little bit, but it might have been that the wood is broken down to the level that it doesn't really provide those nutrients anymore, and it's just more loam, so there's no more nutrient base. This has been a permaculture bed for us, so I don't make it seem like this bed has been tilled. We generally just would, planting something in here, put our finger in, and then plant whatever it is we're going to be planting. If we're going to plant something like that, we've had garlic in here, it did fairly well. We've had tomatoes in here, because you can start them pretty small just by making some room, and as long as it's well watered and such. But other than that, it's been fairly let to go for itself for a long time. But I wanted to check things out. This is the year to do it. We're building one more permaculture type of Hügelkultur bed. So if you're interested in watching that, stick around. We can see that you can probably get a better picture for this area at least to see what's going on here. I pulled back the straw. You can also see this, mulched leaf. We have some friends around that give us their leaves, so it's already pre-mulched, so we just generally have been putting it on top, not even mixing it in. And then we have soil. It looks pretty good. There's some nutrients and such in there. Let's see what the finger test, or if you watched me recently, I've been able to put my hand into the soil. Let's see if I can do that here. Nope. It's still pretty, you can feel it's not really, I was hoping it's going to be a lot better. That's still pretty nasty. That's not really that's super impressive. I guess it is full of nutrients. Let's just pull this back in this area. Let's see what this looks like. I'm not going to go to the areas. There's some malvia coming up. I can see some other stuff that's just coming up from where we've had it in. But I'm just going to pull up this one area so we can see. So, we got some beans coming up here too. Oh no, I got beans. If I do this, crap. I'm seeing now that I actually have beans planted here that are coming up. If I do this experiment. Anyway, I'm just going to do one little hole here. Just right here where I have it. I'm not going to sacrifice the whole bed to do this experiment because I sort of forgot that we planted beans here and there's no sense in taking them up. At the end of the season I can do the same exercise, but we can still do what we're talking about here, which is learn about the hügelkultur process and what it looks like and see what it looks like. You know, we should see pieces of wood up to like that, sometimes up to that, a lot of very small pieces of wood, but that's what this whole bed was. So let's get this shovel out. Let's take a peek. Do you think we're going to see any wood bits? Oh, sorry, Beanie. See if you can make it over here a little better. Man, that soil's not great though. So, what do we see here? Let's just pull away some of this stuff on top. Looks fine. You know, I've gone down as far as the shovel can, and I'm not even seeing any real remnants. Oh, I see a little bit over here. Let's see. Oh, there's a piece. See, if you can see this, like it's falling apart. It's really wet. But that's also what's doing part of the work for the bed is this stuff as it breaks down becomes a moisture retention agent, and then the roots and things are able to access that. Yeah, we can see a little bit more. But this is an example of some of the pieces. This is mostly made with this stuff. So it's not just a matter of this being in here a little bit. It should be like that all the way through. Because that's what the bed looked like. You can see a little bit here breaking down. But the soil, while not great, I can tell you, look how dark it is compared to the clay stuff that's mixed in. It's a lot richer. There's a bunch of worms down here, so I know aspects of this are working. And it's compacted. I mean, this has been a great bed, but it needs the same treatment as our other beds, which is, sorry about the dogs fighting, if you can hear that, which is more peat moss and such, so that this very good looking soil can get the loft it needs to do even better. But in the future, in this hügelkultur bed that we're about to make, all this excellent soil will also be the base for whatever is on top of it. So if we have a plant planted on top, I'm not sure about aspects of compaction, because once this breaks down it does seem to drop. And I'm worried about what that would do to the roots, but I guess we're gonna go with it, because I'm not really sure. I'm not at that stage yet. I guess I should just focus on getting the initial job done, which is getting our own hügelkultur bed. I'll consider this a big success, truthfully, because you know it looks like the bed is very rich down there. It's not like the rest of the soil that's really, really terrible. Yeah, it's like parts of birch deep in there, but I'm not. There's hardly anything going on here as far as the sticks. I'll take one more little area a little further in. Just I got down enough that it's down to clay. I'm seeing it. I mean, it's mostly just a little bits of bark, and even the stuff that's here, it's basically, you know, it's not really holding its form together much because it's broken down so much. But this should be full of those sticks, but it's not because it's all broken down. Oh, there's a bigger piece. But once again, it's mostly mush. So you can pull it apart. So it's all working. I'm quite happy with how this turned out. So we're gonna get to our new Hügelkultur bed, and I'll show you what aspects of the, you can't see this, but Artemis has recently taken to humping Link a little bit. So you probably don't care, but it's sort of funny because hey, can you guys, I told you guys to keep out of here. You're driving me crazy. Seriously. Dags. You like dags? What was they saying here anyway? Eager. Gridless. Beaver.